to tweet out the link, and then we'll be all good to go. I hope everybody's having a great night. As for me, it's a bit of a stressful week for me. I have a lot of work to do, but I'm taking a little break now because I've been working on math homework all day, and I don't really feel like doing that anymore. And link has been tweeted. As you can see, we're starting this franchise mode off with a bit of a surprising move here. Cameron Bass is heading to St. Louis from Tampa Bay. So the Tampa Bay Lightning have traded Cameron Bass in a package that sends Jaden Schwartz and Tyler Bertuzzi to the Lightning. So Lightning probably get better. They trade a goalie. Um, that's a really big move. And I mean, St. Louis also gets a first round pick in next year's draft. So, big move here. And we're simming through the offseason. I just figured we'd start. Oh, yeah, my AHL goalie coach signed. Cool. And I got Jordan Bennington. Cool. So that is what you can see. I wasn't planning on stopping, obviously, but I needed to. I figured we'd make that the first part of the franchise mode stream for the night. Just gonna delete everything from my trade block. I'm not trying to make any trades. I like my team as is, and we'll get into that as soon as we can. I just want to get past it. I did make one trade, so one player is no longer a part of this team. And yeah, we'll get into that in just a sec. I just want to get to the edit lines screen because that's important. It's kind of important to go over it. And you'll see hopefully my rationale coming through as to why I made that trade in a little bit. And so we're going to edit the lines here just to show everybody what's going on. So obviously the first line has stayed the same. Jeez. I can't. My gosh. Okay, I don't love these lines, but so Dominic Bach, Big Sam, Andrei Svechnikov, Holmqvist, Aho, and Optimistic Caniac. Let's do that. Yeah, don't. Whatever. We'll figure it out. That actually makes it worse. Okay. So then Natchez Teravainen and Evan Stansel, Tuukka Tiaksala, Ryan Suzuki, and Patrick Puistola. As you'll see, Jamison Reese is no longer on the team. I traded him this off-season, actually, for a... I traded for a first-round pick, a pretty decent prospect, and a third-round pick, which is a pretty big haul for Reese. There was no way that I would put him in a role to succeed on this team, and in all honesty, there's no way for Suzuki to succeed on this team either, as the team is currently constructed, which is fine but tough in my opinion. I really like the way the team looks. And then goaltending, we replaced Igor Shesterkin with Jordan Binnington. So it's a 3-point upgrade in goal. Unfortunately, Chris is the backup goalie now, but I think last year it kind of became obvious that we need a starting goalie, and I think Binnington could be that guy. Um, we'll also take a look. We have Riley Kidney. Finally, that first round pick is looking okay as our first line center. In all honesty, that first line could be really good. If it's a +3 overall, it means that every player likes is a good fit on that line. So we'll see some synergy there. I'd love. Wow. Doesn't look like Noel Gunler is a good fit for my AHL coach, which is unfortunate. There we go. Let's do that. Get LaPierre some more playing time. Yeah, I like this forward core of the AHL. I believe this is the player I traded. No, it's not the player I traded for. Who did I trade for? I definitely traded for somebody. It might have been a defenseman. It wasn't Bobkov. Was it Kov? Wasn't Ranger. It wasn't this guy. Or him. Or him. I have Tony Hemelainen and Taro Hemelainen. Both are scratches. Oh, this guy. Okay, so he's actually a scratch in the AHL right now. And I am going to put him in. Put Tony in, not Taro. I don't really care if it makes the team worse. I want him to work out. I traded him, or traded for him. But other than that, there's the team. Aho is on the second line. I might not keep it that way. We'll do that for now, see what happens. But yeah, I think we're ready to go. If this is your first time watching and you want to see how your player is doing, let me know. I will take a look. I typically do that at the end of the season if I remember. Brady Shea ended up signing with the Rangers, which is pretty funny. I think I can leave my wants. I just want to take Binnington off the trade block because I did just acquire him in free agency. Evgeny Malkin heading to Edmonton. St. Louis actually gets the better players. That's a bad trade for Edmonton. Malkin is like a shadow of his former self. I don't want Tony DeAngelo. Yeah, if you missed it last season, we made the playoffs for the first time in this stream. We did lose in Game 7 to the New Jersey Devils, and that was after taking a 3-0 lead in the series. Probably could have won that series, but Chris Miracle did get hurt, I believe, after Game 4 or Game 5. I can't remember. So that was definitely tough. It was a tough loss for the Canes, and former Hurricanes prospect Yanni Kuokkanen actually scored the game-winning goal, or the series-clinching goal in overtime. So I just need to make sure my USA scout that I hired is in the right spot. So I have one in the Central, one in the East, and then another in the Central. So we'll send you to the USA West. Yep. Not a whole lot of prospects in this area. Take a look. Actually, they have 3 top 10 picks in this area. 4 top 15 picks. So that's solid. I don't mind that one bit. Here we go. First game of the season up against the Philadelphia Flyers. And it's a loss. Okay, so tough loss to start the season off, but this is the best team I think we've had. Travis Hamonic is definitely a downgrade over Brady Shea, but he does make the defense a little better. or at least he makes the third pairing better because he's a better fit for my team, if that makes sense. But two big wins against Dallas and the Oilers, and then we beat Dallas again the following week after a decent break. Necas out with a concussion until the 23rd, so that's going to send some shockwaves throughout this team. Hopefully we can recover from that. It'll be tough for sure. We don't know a whole lot about the top part of this draft. I'm hoping to not know about a good portion of this draft, to be honest. I'm hoping to not have to worry about drafting, but we do know that this Jermaine Spalling guy is not a good player. So, who knows, man. But either way, we're on a 5-game win streak here. Most of the games are against Western Conference teams. Klingberg's out with a separated shoulder until December 3rd, so lots of injuries to start the year. That's not good. And Dallas immediately comes in there, slides into the DMs like, hey man, I heard you want a defenseman here, Esa Lindell. I would love that if I wasn't giving up 2 whole first round picks for that. That's ridiculous. But I did see that we went 3-1 on a 4-game road trip. And Charlotte has a player out with a sprained ankle, so that's tough for them. But Canes seem to be doing all right. 2 big wins there against Metro teams. Actually, have 5 straight Metro Division opponents here. And the Canes have come away with 3 wins out of 5 so far. Can we get the 4th? We do. So 4 out of 5. And here we go. 10-2 to start the season. And boom, 5 straight Metro wins has us tied with New Jersey with a game in hand for first in the division. And we beat the Buffalo Sabres. It's always a good day when you beat the Sabres, in my opinion at least. And the Canes are on a roll here. Only 2 losses to start the year. And that's with Necas and Klingberg out. So those are some big losses. And the Canes are doing fine. Crazy stuff. I'm happy with that. Shootout loss to Vegas, so we do surrender a point in that game. Oh man. Losing to the Blue Jackets as well. A little bit of a slump. 3-game losing streak. Necas is back, so that's a pretty big addition for this team. Hopefully he can continue, or he can help the team kind of get back into their winning ways. 4-game losing streak now. Travis Hamonic is now out until December 3rd, so around then the Canes should be getting some pretty big help. And another shootout loss. That losing streak is now at 6 games with that loss to the Caps. My gosh. Klingberg is back a little too early. I'm a little worried about that, but hopefully he'll be okay. Playing against the Rangers now. Oh, thank goodness. 10-0. That is a 10-0 win against the New York Rangers. Tuomas Solani is out with a sore foot until the 13th. That's a tough loss for the Canes, actually. He was starting to be on the up and up. But we do get Travis Hamonic back. And at December 1st, we're 3rd in the division, 15-6-3 record. We'll check and see how the team's doing, who has stepped up. It looks like Big Sam's leading the way, 14 goals and 25 points. Solid season for him so far. Sebastian Aho has the same amount of points, just less goals. Seems to me that Jacob Slavin is having a good season, and we have 4 20-point scorers already, so I like to see that. Pretty average so far. It seems like Aho's leading the way in power play points. I don't know. Do we have any rookie skaters this year? Oh, Landon McCallum actually played a few games with some injuries out. 16 games and 5 points. And Anthony Honka as well has appeared in some NHL games. I don't like that my prospects, especially McCallum, are scratches, but who knows, man? Maybe McCallum will just stick in the lineup. I'm probably going to get rid of some bottom 6 forwards next year or during the offseason, so he should be getting more playing time. But he'll also be getting more playing time this season if we do have any more injuries. So. And 3-2 overtime win against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Honka might actually be in the lineup still since Solani is out. We're going to view the draft class, see if we know any more about these picks, and looks like we know about Barabal. Our scouts actually think he could be the #1 overall pick. We're still scouting Danielson here. Still just the one bust. Central Scouting has him ranked 115th right now. My scouts rank him at 123rd. If he's labeled as a bust, though, we're not going to pick him. That's just kind of how I roll. And Nashville has fired their coach, Rafael Courtnall. We don't play the Preds anytime soon. Actually, we just beat them fairly recently. Solani is back now. I believe the team is fully healthy. And a 5-2 win against Toronto. I don't know why I said Montreal. Big trade offer here. Taro Hirose, who the Red Wings just traded to the Capitals. It's really funny because he's not very good in real life. He's not good in real life. Washington, he's had 25 points in 29 games this season. Be a nice addition to the team. Plus Dmitry Orlov, who is older but still would make the roster better. 2 first-round picks, a prospect, and then Chelios, who's not very good of a prospect. I'm going to say no to that. That's a big deal, but I'd have to give up actual NHL talent. I'd have to flip my players elsewhere, and I just don't want to do that right now. We do lose a game against Toronto after winning 3 straight. Klingberg is out again with a sore shoulder, probably, from that separated shoulder that he had. A little 4-game road trip here, and the Canes are 0-1-2 on this road trip, so not the best, but perhaps they can end it on a high note with a win in Chicago. Klingberg is back too, probably for the game against Detroit. We do win against the Blackhawks. I'm not going to say yes to this trade. I see 6 years for Pulock, and I'm a little nervous. And it's a really bad deal. I like Noel Gunler. I don't think he's an NHL... Well, he might be an NHL prospect, actually. Yeah, I don't like that trade for me, personally. Playing 1 game at home before heading out onto the road for... This is basically our games against the Atlantic Division. We win against the Red Wings, and against Montreal we do lose 5-4. So it seems like goaltending and defense are still a little bit of an issue. I'm trying to work on that. I've drafted quite a few defensemen these past few years. Brady Shea wasn't a very good fit for the team. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense for me personally. Yeah, we're losing a few more games than I would like right now, but yeah, like 4 straight losses. Los Angeles just fired their coach. We play them in 2 weeks. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for a first, and LaPierre. I'm okay. Yeah, 5 straight losses with that loss to Philly, so we're slipping pretty hard. We've slipped into the 4th in the division. We are still in the first wild card spot. Big win against Columbus, though. We need these wins here. Justin Falk for 2 firsts. I'm good, man. And back-to-back wins against Columbus kind of is what we needed. I don't love that we lost to Florida the next night, but that's okay. Followed it up with another win against Minnesota. Shane Gostisbehere for 2 first-round picks and a goalie, G. McBride. That's a crazy trade. Yeah, crazy stuff. Dika, who's a decent prospect, actually, and Robbie Fabry. Gonna say no. I think the team is okay. 2 big wins against Metropolitan teams. Neither team was ahead of us in the standings. The Caps are behind us, though, so definitely important to stay ahead of them. We know that Danielson is supposed to be... He's projected to go first overall. So now we know he's medium elite. So it seems like a pretty average draft. And we have a gem in Mats Gilson, a goaltender, playing for Luleå. I don't know how to pronounce it. But we're scouting him. seems like a medium elite goaltender could be a very good pick for us. And if he's projected to go a little later and we don't have anything else, I'm going to pick him probably. 5-game win streak heading into the All-Star break, though, which is huge for the Canes, who are still third in the division. I wouldn't say we're treading water in this division this year. Like, we're pretty comfortably in a playoff spot. We're, 8 points ahead of the second wild card right now. Obviously, you'd like to see us, maybe first or second in the division, trying to get that home ice advantage. But I think I'm okay. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Jonathan Toews are heading to New Jersey. Arizona's getting a first-round pick, Yaroslav Likachev, Glebov, and a second-round pick. It's actually funny, Likachev, if it's the player I'm thinking of, was actually invited to Arizona's development camp this past year in real life. So it's funny that they get him again. But New Jersey gets, two aging players, but still very productive players, and don't give up any NHL assets. They give up 2 prospects and a second-round pick in this year's draft, but they keep their first in this year's draft and give up next year's instead. So I think that's a good trade for them. We don't play them until March, though, so I do see 2 losses coming out of the All-Star break. Must be a little bit of rust. We did have a 5-game win streak, though. Dmitry Orlov and Nick Backstrom. No, Backstrom's aging. New Jersey, Alex Nylander. That's another big trade, giving up some picks and prospects again. So New Jersey must be going all in this year. They're like, no, we don't want Carolina to take us to Game 7 again in the first round. John Klingberg out with a mild concussion. He's having some injury issues. I'm a little concerned about that. Yeah, definitely a little concerned. And also, I hate that all that work we did to get that 5-game win streak was just erased pretty much with the 4-game losing streak. We do win against Winnipeg, and then we lose again. So, still in third, tied for third now, and the only 1 point ahead. Washington trades Taro Hirose, though. Wow. They don't get any NHL assets. So Washington gets a good bit worse. Montreal trading Tomas Tatar to Winnipeg. We play Montreal after the trade deadline. Evander Kane heading to Colorado. San Jose gets some picks and prospects. Yeah, two losses in a row. We need to beat Pittsburgh here. The Islanders trade Nick Leddy to Tampa. So that's a pretty big move. Bobkov is out for Charlotte. Gotta beat the Penguins here. We don't. Klingberg's back. Oh, no, we do. Sorry, I read that as shootout loss. We beat the Penguins. That's huge because the team was struggling. Klingberg coming back will be a big deal for us. Bobkov's back for Charlotte. That's cool. And yeah, Klingberg back means that we did beat the Anaheim Ducks. Ottawa gets Robbie Fabry. Detroit gets a nice little haul there. And yeah, so it looks like, heading into the trade deadline, it's going to be another tough run. Philip Tomasino traded to Vegas. Buffalo gets Anthony Duclair. Tomasino is 24, I believe, in this sim. So it's looking like he's a bit of a bust, actually. And so Buffalo doesn't give up any meaningful prospects and assets, it looks like. Maybe he'll be better, but for now, who knows? And hopefully Vancouver is a win for us. It's a 5-0 loss, yikes. Hopefully we can beat Anaheim the next night. We don't. Still, this is tough, man. It's looking rough for the Canes. Luckily, the teams behind us don't seem to be winning many games either. Washington trading Backstrom and Lowry, so their team gets a little worse as well. Which is really good for us, actually, because Washington is 1 point behind us, and they've actually sold at the deadline. Columbus selling as well, trading Carlson and Shattenkirk to Buffalo. So Buffalo's kind of loading up. And yeah, so heading into March, doesn't look like we play 2 huge games against the Devils this month. Trying to look and see who else is behind us. And the Islanders, I don't believe. So we don't play the Islanders. So as far as teams that are behind us or ahead of us, we have 3 games against the Devils this month. And that's really it. we don't play the Flyers and we don't play the Capitals. So we're done playing against the teams ahead of us. So unfortunately, we're really going to have to rely on beating those teams or just winning other games. But we're going to sim to the first against Montreal, and then we'll just sim through the last 3 games of the season. Big 5-0 win at the trade deadline, and another shutout win. 3 straight wins here, 4 actually, with that big win against New York. 5 wins. We play against New Jersey, and then we shut out. Holmqvist is out with an injured hip. That's a big injury. We shut out the Red Wings 7-0. We do lose 2 straight games after that. Holmqvist is back, so it looks like Holmqvist is kind of holding this team together a little bit. Shootout loss. We're in 3rd place in the division, but now we're not. We're in a wild card spot. Central Scouting releasing their rankings. Oh boy, it's simming pretty fast. I'll tell you what. And we have a medium or a low elite right winger from the Swiss League, ZSC. I don't remember where that is. What do we know about him? He's a long shot. Project for sure. 5 years away, my goodness. Mats Gilson. He's still being scouted. And then Ralph Foligno. 2 gems in this draft, though. I believe we only had 1 last year. So, a little more encouraging. 4-game, that was actually a 6-game losing streak there, but the Canes do come away with a 3-game win streak after that. 4 now against Pittsburgh. 5, and the Canes are a playoff team. The Carolina Hurricanes are heading to the playoffs for the 2nd year in a row. Good thing, too, it looks like a team in the Atlantic Division has scooped up one of those wild card spots. Teravainen, Evan Stancil, and Dominic Box scoring in the first period. Patrick Pistola scoring in the second, and Andrei Svechnikov adding a goal of his own in the third. So that's a big win for the Canes. If the Devils lose all 3 of their remaining games, maybe 4, I can't remember. I can't do math, man. Man, Aho with 80 points, 19 goals, which isn't a whole lot, 61 assists. So he's definitely a pass-first guy in this sim, which is kind of funny. First period, Holmqvist getting a goal from a pretty tough angle. Second period, we get another goal from Holmqvist, so nice. And then the third period, Boston comes back to tie it. I'm not going to sim through overtime. What the heck, let's do it. Why not? So 97 offense, that's up from a 96 the previous year. 90 defense is down from a 92. And then 88 goaltending is up from an 85 the previous year. So a net improvement for the team of 2 points. So pretty solid stuff. I'm happy with that. I'm happy that this team's going to the playoffs. Let's see what overtime holds for us. It's just kind of meaningless points now. Well, it's still meaningful. The Canes are fighting for position in the playoffs. Aho wins the face-off back. Andrei Svechnikov turns it over to Torrey Krug, and Klingberg and Carey offsides. So, face-off is going to come in at neutral ice. We got the dancing cliche Bruins fan that nobody ever dresses like in these real games. Let's see. Jonathan Wagner's actually on the first line for the Boston Bruins, which is kind of funny. So Jonathan Wagner coming up. He's a creative player. Nice block by Klingberg there. 35 has it. I believe that's Torrey Krug. Klingberg's playing some great defense. Jonathan Wagner back to Kyrou, to Krug. Kyrou scores. My goodness. So the Bruins get a point. Bruins get the extra point. I'm not sure if that matters for them or not. The Canes walk away with 1 point in this game, and that probably means that we're staying in the first wild card spot. Actually, right now, we've moved ahead of the Capitals. They are tied with us in terms of points. Same amount of games, too. So this last game against the Rangers could be pretty important. No, we have 1 more point than the Caps. We need a win here. Sebastian Aho did not get a point in that last game, so he probably will not finish as a point per game player this year, but he'll be damn close. First period, Brady Shea scoring on Jordan Binnington, getting that revenge goal against the Canes. Svechnikov scoring, Capo Caco scoring for the Rangers. Canes win. Big Sam, Holmqvist, Puistola, and Teravainen score. 4 goals in the third period. Canes take that game 5-3. Aho does get 2 points in that game, so he is a point per game player with 63 assists. And it's going to be a Canes versus Devils rematch series. This might actually be kind of fun. The Devils had 3 more points than the Canes, so they had 3 more overtime losses. We'll take a look now at the stats. Aho and Big Sam leading the way for the team. Optimistic Kaniak, 58 points. Evan Stansel with 46. Pretty solid season overall. I want to see how the new acquisitions did. Let's see. I do want to see Tuomas Solani. 16 points. That's a career high for him. He's now an 82 overall, which is up from an 80. So that's really good to see. I like that. Travis Hamonic, 10 points. He's never been that great of an offensive player. He's never been that great of an offensive player. Happy that he's found like a new home here. And yeah. Anthony Honka and ended up playing a decent amount this season. Still hasn't upgraded, and then Landon McCallum was done after we checked, so that should be it for rookie skaters this year. Yeah, not great for Honka or McCallum, but that's alright. I don't remember where any players were drafted. Karen Lang, 65 points. He is a high franchise player in this draft, in this sim. Not a career high, his career, but he has been consistent. Wow, same exact point totals as last season. Don't remember if they have any goalies. They do not. Okay. Arizona. Doesn't look like it. Boston, Jonathan Wagner leading the team with 68 points. Pretty balanced scoring overall on that team. Trevor Michaels with Buffalo, 81 points. Sure you still want that trade, my friend? 40 points, 50 points, 81, 77, and 81. Setting a career high in assists this season. Calgary, I don't believe drafted anybody, but I could be wrong. It would not appear so. Oh, let's check how the goaltenders did. I didn't mean to hit rookie goalies. Jordan Binnington had a decent season. It was actually really Chris Miracle was the one that put this team in the playoffs. No shutouts, but a 15-6-2 record. So 15 wins, and it really doesn't look like goaltending's the issue. I actually think it might be the defense. So that's something to keep an eye on. I know it's so stupid, but like... So Hamonic, Slavin, and Hamilton and Solani were all plus players. You got Honka, who was a -1. Klingberg was a -9, and Bean was a -11. So Bean, despite his points, a lot of those points came on the power play. I think I saw like 11 points, which is almost a third of his production. So I don't know. Anyways, game 1 of the first round. First period. Canes get 3 goals here. Hamonic scoring the Canes' first goal of the playoffs, then Natchez and Stansel. Lafreniere gets the goal for the Devils. Second period, Canes get a goal from Sebastian Aho, increasing the lead to 4-1. And Evan Stansel and Tuomas Solani scoring goals. 3 stars of the game. Binnington obviously had a great performance. Natchez with a goal, and then Evan with 2. And Evan has been... I'm going to nickname him the Exerciser. Or the Exorcist. The Exorcist. Not Exerciser, ignore that. The Exorcist. Because he was so good against the Devils. I think he had 6 goals in those 7 games in the last series. He's got 2 so far through one game. Evan Stancil, the Exorcist. First period, Sebastian Aho getting a goal here with pretty even shots, 9-9 so far. Looks like Aho scored it from, pretty close, so that's a good goal. Second period, Big Sam getting his first goal of the playoffs, and then third period, Canes just mopping the floor with the New Jersey Devils this series so far. Nico Hischier scores to cut the lead in half, but then Holmqvist, Solani, Aho, and guess who? Evan Stancil scoring again. 6-1 is your final. Big Sam with 4 points, Sebastian Aho with 2 goals. So Big Sam is having himself quite a good series as well with 6 points. And so we're going to head to game 3 in Raleigh. Canes are up to their dangerous 2-0 lead in the series. New Jersey scores first. Alex Nylander, that big trade deadline acquisition, does score for the Devils. Second period now. Canes come back though. Aho and Svechnikov scoring on Blackwood. And the third period, Hischier ties it. John Klingberg ends up getting the winner, and then Optimistic Caniac's empty net goal, his first goal of the playoffs, ends up just being an insurance marker. It was actually a power play goal, which was kind of funny. You got to do what you got to do, man. Big Sam, no points in that game, or 1 point, can't tell. Sebastian Aho is having a heck of a series, though. And now we're going to game 4. Can the Canes sweep the New Jersey Devils? Hischier scores first. Tuomas Solani getting a goal. He's quietly having a very good series. And then Teuvo Teravainen, both goals scored in the last minute for the Canes, actually. I didn't see that. So the Canes are up thanks to 2 late goals. Second period, the Exorcist, Evan Stancil scoring a goal, and Holmqvist getting another goal as well. Canes win. Optimistic Caniac and Ryan Suzuki score. The Hurricanes just decimated the Devils in that series. 6-1 is your final. Sebastian Aho with 8 points this series. Give me 1 second. I'm responding to a tweet about this series. So. And I'm also going to say that I have nicknamed somebody the Exorcist. So let's see if Evan Stancil can continue his magic. And let's see who our opponent is in round 2. So it's going to be the Capitals, it looks like. So that's going to be a huge rivalry series already. Playoffs are complete in this round. So it's Canes and Caps, and then the Battle of Florida with Tampa and the Panthers. Wow. It's Colorado versus Dallas and Vancouver versus St. Louis. We're going to sim to game 1. Game 1, Canes versus Caps. battle of two teams that were 1 point away from each other in the standings. Carolina, the Exorcist Evan Stansel, shows that he's not just a one-trick pony. He's not just good against the Devils. He's good against the Capitals too, with a goal. Second period, though, Connor McMichael and Philip Hedl score. So interesting to see Philip Hedl on the Caps. Third period, Canes lose. Jacob Vrana scores. Optimistic Caniac did cut the lead in half, but it was not enough. Canes fall to the Caps in game 1 of the series. Sebastian Aho had himself another point in that game with an assist. We're going to play the next game. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to sim, but I saw play next game, and that's kind of what I thought of. First period, Tuomas Solani scoring for the Hurricanes, having himself a pretty solid playoffs. I didn't expect him to be an offensive contributor, but it really looks like he's starting to come into his own as a player, which is very good for us. Former, I believe, 8th overall pick. Second period, nothing doing. Both goalies are putting on quite a show. And third period, Canes win. Optimistic Caniac scoring. Ovechkin and Sammy Blanc tie it. Jake Bean gets the eventual winner. Optimistic Caniac gets that insurance marker at the end. Big game from him. 3 stars here. Optimistic Caniac, 3 points. Jake Bean having himself a good game as well with 2 points. Jordan Bennington made quite a few saves as well. Series is tied 1 apiece, and that was in Raleigh. So now we're heading to DC. Optimistic Caniac having himself a great playoffs now, taking over that scoring lead from Aho. First period, game 3, nothing doing. Washington outshot the Canes 15-9, but both goalies were pretty great in that period. Second period, Optimistic Caniac scoring himself another goal, but the 2 Russians for the Capitals end up taking the lead. Third period, Canes lose. Richard Panik getting the goal. So the offense has been a little spotty this series for the Hurricanes, but Optimistic Caniac has been great. Game 4, Canes could tie the series, which will be great, or they could go down 3-1, which would be not great. So that helps, though. Ovechkin does score a goal, but Tuukka Tiaksala scoring, I believe, his first goal of the playoffs, and Andrei Svechnikov scoring another goal as well. Second period, Canes, actually, it was tied at one point. Jacob Narve scoring, and Big Sam and Patrick Puistola scoring goals for the Hurricanes to restore that 2-goal lead. Third period, Mikus cuts the lead in half, but Big Sam completes the hat trick, I believe. I believe that's a hat trick for him to win the game 6-3. 4 points for Big Sam in that game with 3 goals and 1 assist, including 5 hits. Hits don't really matter, but 5 hits is still cool. The team's leading point producer in this playoffs is out until May 20th, so he is out until what looks to be the Stanley Cup final. Maybe the Eastern Conference Finals, which is tough. Either way, it's tied, but losing Optimistic Caniac definitely makes this team worse. Gives a good opportunity for, I believe, Landon McCallum to come in and play, so let's see if he can make an impact. Game 5. Alex Ovechkin scores, but Dougie Hamilton scoring his first goal of the playoffs with a big blast from inside the circles there. Ties the game at 1. Second period, tie game still. Necas and Vrana trade goals, and then Aho and Martin Frk trade goals. So it's 3-3 heading into the third period. Canes win. Big Sam with a big goal. And there we go. So the Canes pushing the Caps to the verge of elimination. Big Sam, Teuvo Teravainen, and Sebastian Aho all with 2-point games. Big Sam also takes the... oh, God. Binnington's out for the season. Luckily, we have Chris Miracle, who will be playing in his first game. But that's a huge injury, and the Canes are definitely plagued by the injury bug here. Losing another key player. Man, that sucks. Oh well, we have a chance. Here comes game 6. Canes are up 3-2 in the series. Could eliminate the Caps in Washington. Evan Stancil, the Exorcist, scoring his first goal since Game 1. Sebastian Aho getting a goal as well for the Carolina Hurricanes from a really terrible angle. Second period, Canes extending that lead. Martin Necas and Teuvo Teravainen scoring goals. It's 4-0 and heading into the third. Ooh, that was closer than I wanted it to be. But either way, the Canes are winning. Travis Hamonic ends up scoring the goal that will... Or no, he doesn't. It was Teravainen that ends up scoring the series winner, but Hamonic and Svechnikov get the insurance goals. Canes win and are moving on to face the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then we have a Colorado versus St. Louis final, or Western Conference final. My gosh, I'm a mess, man. Okay, first period of the Eastern Conference final against Tampa. Big Sam with a big goal, and Sebastian Aho as well. We'll take a look at your trade value at the draft and see what happens. I cannot make any promises, but it's going to be really tough to trade for you. Sebastian Aho and Big Sam scoring goals. Lucas Raymond and Brendan Gallagher scoring for Tampa. Second period, Canes are leading. Ryan Suzuki and Landon McCallum scoring goals. So Landon McCallum scores his first goal of the playoffs. The former, God, I don't remember what pick he was, but made his NHL debut this season, was a healthy scratch for most of it, unfortunately, just because of the computer. Getting that playoff goal. And Ryan Suzuki, I believe that's his first goal of the playoffs, so cool stuff. Steven Stamkos puts this game, makes it a little interesting with 15 seconds left in the period. And Jake Bean scores the game winner in Game 1 of the conference final. So, if you missed it, at the time of his injury, we're missing Optimistic Kaniak, who was the leading point scorer on the team in the playoffs. He should be back in about a week and a half. Jordan Binnington, our starting goaltender, is out for the season. So those are my updates. That's tough. Game 2, Evan Stancil, the Exorcist, scoring a big goal against Tampa. That's the first period, so we'll sim to the second period. Big Sam with a big goal. Wade Minter scores for Tampa, giving us a 2-1 game heading into the third. Tampa's outshot the Canes 31-19 though in this game. But it doesn't matter. Tuukka Tiexula scoring a goal, and Big Sam getting the game winner. Lucas Raymond and Brendan Gallagher scoring again for the Lightning. But it doesn't matter. Canes win with a 2-0 lead in the series. Jake Bean is now out with a sore foot until May 26th. He is not going to be back for a while. So that's going to mean that Anthony Honka has to come in and play, which I don't hate, but it's not ideal. It's good that my prospects are getting experience, I guess. I'll put it that way. Dominic Bach scoring a goal. I believe that might be his first goal of the playoffs. Tyler Johnson scoring on Chris Miracle. And that's our first period score. Tampa's been out shooting the Canes pretty heavily this series. Seems like their defense can prevent shots, but not quality. Doesn't sound familiar at all. 5 shots for the Canes, 14 for Tampa in that first period. Brendan Gallagher, I believe, gets the Lightning their first lead of the series, scoring a goal there in the second period. Third period, that score will hold. 2-1 is your final, and is the series score as well. We'll check the Central Scouting rankings just as like a courtesy. Right now, regardless, we're picking end of the first round. Oh, we have 2 first-round picks, actually. We have Anaheim's, don't we? So, okay, well, we know Anaheim's pick. We're scouting this guy. If this guy's really a medium top 9 forward, I don't love that. We'll scout this guy some more too. I want the B- scouting him. We'll see what we can do. I like that. Okay. Alright, so this is heading into game 4. 2-1 Carolina in the series. First period. Canes get a goal. Big Sam with another big goal. That's going to be a thing. I'm going to make it a bit. Just Big Sam, whenever he scores, it's a big goal. Doesn't matter if we're losing like 7-1. It's a big goal. Second period, it's tied. Tyler Bertuzzi with 2 goals. Dougie Hamilton does score. Third period now. Canes lose. Tuomas Solani scoring. Sergachev with 2 empty net goals. Stamkos and Hedman with goals as well. Tough loss for the Canes. The series is now tied. And we're going to have a game 6 in Raleigh. So we do get another playoff game in Raleigh, which is cool, but I'd rather just go to the final, you know? Brendan Gallagher and Nikita Kucherov score to put the Lightning ahead 2-0. Second period, though, Big Sam with 2 big goals. And those were only 29 seconds apart. So 2 pretty quick goals for the Carolina Hurricanes in that second period. Third period now, Canes lose, though. Gallagher has been a Cane killer this series, scoring another goal there. 5-2. Canes are on the verge of elimination heading into Game 6. If the Canes can force a Game 7, which I hope they will, I think they might be able to get Optimistic Kaniak back, which will be huge. But, yeah, the injury bug was not kind to us these playoffs. First period, good start, though. Big Sam with a big goal. Andrei Svechnikov scoring as well. Second period, it's tied up. Wade Minter and Ian McCoshen scoring goals. We're going to slow sim this third period. We've yet to have an overtime game, so I've not been able to call an overtime game yet. Ooh, Tyler Bertuzzi scoring on Chris Miracle. Canes need a goal, otherwise their season is over. Power play coming up. Big Sam with an actual 2 big goals. Hat trick for Big Sam. Here we go. Can the Canes hold on to this lead? The answer is yes, and Svechnikov gets an insurance marker with that empty netter. Huge win for the Carolina Hurricanes, forcing Game 7. Wow. And we get Optimistic Kaniak back. That is a huge addition to the team. We have not had him this entire series. The offense has not struggled. That may push the needle just a little bit in our advantage. First period, Tampa gets a goal from Brendan Gallagher, the Cane killer this series. Second period, ooh, tough. Teravainen and Aho do get goals, but unfortunately we got outscored again in that period. We're going to slow sim the third period. Hopefully the Canes can get some goals here. Optimistic Kaniak is back in the lineup. Maybe he can make an impact in this game. Doesn't look to be so far. This score might hold. 4-2 might be our final. Late in the game, we got just under 6 minutes left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Canes lose 4-2. The season is over. Tampa is going to the Stanley Cup final and will face the Colorado Avalanche. Tough end of the season. And we would have gotten Jake Bean back pretty soon as well, but it's tough. We did lose to the Stanley Cup champs, Tampa Bay Lightning, but I would have loved to see the Carolina Hurricanes hoisting the Stanley Cup for the first time this playthrough. 3 gems in this draft now: a medium elite goalie, a low elite right winger, and a low top 6 right winger. I like to see that. Eric Stahl retiring. That might be a Hall of Fame career. You never know. And Malkin's more than likely a Hall of Famer, especially with that points percentage. Good stuff. Any goalies of significance retiring? Price, Rask, Bishop, Halak. Good stuff. So, tough that the Canes lost, but we do have 2 first-round picks. Giordano and James Van Riemsdyk are now coaches. Jason Demers is now a scout. and I need to hire 2 more. I'm 95% sure that I hired both of those scouts this year. Or both of those coaches this year for Charlotte. So that's a little annoying, but whatever. Awards. Tampa obviously winning the cup, and Cameron Bass was traded from Tampa. He's a creative player. He will not win. Number 1 sports fan winning the James Norris this year. Congrats. But yeah, it's kind of sad. Cameron Bass was traded away from the eventual Stanley Cup winner. JT winning the Selke. Congrats to him. No awards there. I want to see if my AHL team got any awards. It does not appear so. Evan McCauley with 54 points. Seems like Charlotte had a bit of a rough year. Oh, Elias McCauley, excuse me. I'm also going to check the progress report, see how well my prospects did this year. Any players at the NHL level growing? It does not appear so. In the system, this Commodore player who I just drafted recently grew the most. So I like that in the top 3, 2 players of mine were picked in this past year's draft. So I like to see that. I also like seeing, my picks from 2023 that are coming into the league next year. I like seeing them get better. Another 2024 pick improving a lot. This guy was not supposed to be anything. He still isn't great, but good for him. Yeah, okay. My 2024 first round pick is progressing as normal. I don't like that Dika didn't improve at all, like in overall. Kidney improved 1 overall, which isn't great. Yeah, it doesn't... I mean, for the most part, nothing too crazy. No huge growth in any one category. This guy is going to be in the NHL next year. Other than that, though, nobody really grew, and it's a little disappointing, to say the least, but what can you do? So, we'll start the draft now. I don't know what to expect. Alright. Pick 22 is our first pick, so this is Anaheim's pick. And let's see what's available. Okay. Our scouts really like Logan Edmonds. He's a center prospect, which we don't really need any more of. He's the only one our scouts really like. Worst comes to worst, I can just trade him. Medium top 6 forward, I'll take that. 28th overall now. Ooh. Our scouts really like this defenseman. Louis Lehou. Who is he scouted by, out of curiosity? Which year? I have a QMJHL scout with that last name, so I was wondering if it was family bias. Medium top 60. I hate it when those guys are projected to go in the first round. I hate it. Either way, second round now, 59th overall. Don't love what I see here. Low top 6 forwards don't really do anything for me. Is there anybody ranked? This guy's a medium top 6 forward, but he's a center. Martin Martindale. I like that name. Medium top 9 forward. I'll take it. I don't love it, but I'll take it. 74th overall now. Again, just a lot of centers in this draft, man. I don't like that. Our scouts seem to like this Almquist guy the best. And this Henrik Omark player. I have too many defensemen and not enough winger prospects. It actually looks like that gem was picked just before us. Serge Dupont. Okay, actually just 3 picks away now, and we're making another pick here. And I think I'm going to go with Caleb Jenks. I think that's the best player available. If he is a low elite, that's easily the best player available. Low top 6, meh. Okay. Brett Monroe, our scouts really like him, but I don't need defensemen. Go with Trevor Camilleri, who our scouts say is a gem. 120th overall. Oop. Let's do this. It's a little early to be taking this goalie, but I can't pass up on a medium elite goalie. Yeah, no, there's no way I pass up on that. So we'll take Matt Stilson here, and we may circle back and pick another goalie in this draft. I'm only sort of kidding. Ralph Foligno. I've picked a lot of right wingers recently. He's going to be available in a little while too. A medium top 6 right winger. What's this guy's potential? He's low elite. Man, I can't pass up on medium top 6. That's 2 great picks in a row. Even though these guys are prospects, can't go wrong with Trevor's. No, I cannot. Alright. Now I'm just getting to the point where I'm just drafting based on potential. Picked a lot of right wingers in this draft, but we'll go ahead and pick Ralph Foligno as well. We're kind of picking long-term projects in this draft because I have too many prospects that are ready right away. I kind of want to, you know, I want to make this team as good as possible in the long run, not just in the short run. Or in the long term, not just the short term. We'll take a left winger here in Colton Helms. He is an overage player. Medium bottom 6 forward. That's not great. This will be our last pick in the draft. 214th overall. We'll just draft based on potential here. Best player available is this DeVries player, a overage player, low top 6 potential, 53 overall at age 19. We'll sim the rest of the draft. Lots of picks in this draft. I don't hate most of those picks, so I think it's a solid draft. Lots of coaches. Yep, it's the same exact AHL coaches that I just released. He doesn't have good coach chemistry with my... He doesn't have good chemistry with my head coach, and he doesn't have any player chemistry with players that are actually playing other than Pistola. I can do better than that. This guy also doesn't love being with the coach, but he has good chemistry with Binnington, who is an actual goalie on my team. Oh, he wants to be a head coach. That just ain't gonna happen. One sec. I'm just gonna offer him this in good faith. He will not accept them. Some scouts want to be re-signed. Definitely gonna re-sign my best scout. I know I had a Russian scout for hire that needed to be re-upped. I think I can do better in Russia. If not, it's not a huge loss. Or it's not bad to just do like a lateral move in scouting, but like I'd like to have a better Russian scout. So I think I'm going to try and get a better scout than just a C overall. Okay. All expiring. Dougie Hamilton is the best player available here. And then I have some decisions to make. How has Natchez been doing? You know what? He's crowding the team up. That's a bold move. But I think it'll pay off. Ryan Suzuki. Definitely going to sign him. I will give Blake Murray a 2-year contract. That's fine. We'll let go of him. Qualify Soderblom. What's this guy's name? Christopher Brodziak. He's a grinder, which isn't great, but good overall at a pretty good age and medium top 6 potential. I can't beat that. Tiexala has been pretty useless over the course of his NHL career. Noel Gunler has better potential, arguably, and is younger. We'll qualify him. I'm going to let go of Karlberg, sign this Oland player, and yeah, I think that's good enough. Defense, gonna keep Slavin, obviously. Gonna get rid of Hamonic. Solani does not want a contract. Gonna give him one. Honka wants to resign, which is good. I'll give him another deal. McCauley, you were my best scorer in Charlotte last year. Dika's gonna get a contract. Column's gonna get a contract. Other than that, sure, I'll give Watson a contract as well. Goalies. Chris Miracle wants a contract, and he will accept it. It's a 1-year deal. Makiniemi, your services have been appreciated in Charlotte, but we've decided to go with somebody else at this time. Unsigned prospects. Yeah, okay. My best is a first-round pick. Okay, so no real surprises. Yeah, no real surprises from last year's draft, but yeah. So no unsigned players will be getting contracts this year. We'll advance the day. Yeah, the goalie coach didn't want to sign. I'm not shocked about that. Solani renewed the contract. That's really good. Everybody else is good. We'll sim to free agency. Soderblom already accepted. The goalie coach obviously wasn't renewed. And I don't have a whole lot of room to work with. Okay. First, we're going to go to the coaching staff and hire 4 new coaches. So I need an NHL assistant coach. Not a whole lot of great ones available, which is fine. This guy's teaching is the best. We'll offer him pretty hefty compensation to join the team. Then I'll look for the ones who are goalie specialists. This guy's teaching is okay. I'll offer you some money to be my goalie coach. Now I need an AHL assistant coach. We'll go overall. Yeah, really there never are great coaches for AHL teams. I like this guy's a generalist, which means he's going to be good for everybody. Plus his teaching is an A-, so that always helps. So he's going to help my AHL team improve. There were a couple C- for goalies. Man, there's a lot of great A. This guy has better stats. Georg Sulzer. So we'll do that. Alright, that should fill my coaching positions. Scouting. What did I tell you? I could do better than a B or than a C in Russia. Perfect. A in skating, or skater senses. Efficiency is a B. Prospect discovery is a B. Yeah. Just in case a team offers her, we'll give her 10,000 more. So that takes care of like the front office side of things. Proposed trade, because they haven't had a depth chart. Like you could look at the depth chart, but there's no easy way to do it. So at center now, it's a lot less clustered. I'm going to have McCallum playing as my fourth line center next year. I think, yeah, it's a big downgrade, but I want Suzuki to get better, and there's no way that would have happened. So, left wing, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're set. Right wing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Defense, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see who's available on the free agency list. Because if there's a good defenseman available, like a good middle six defenseman, Ivan Provorov would give me a legit top pair. Please tell me that you're good. PK line 2. Damn. That's not who I meant to hit. Fabro, penalty kill, line 2. Anthony's brother. All defensive pairings, all power play lines, and penalty kill, line 2. Night. I know he sucks in real life, but yeah. OVZ UFA, I didn't even see that. Let me check that out. If so, I might sign him just so the Canes can be petty towards their division rival. That'd be kind of fun. Is he? I don't see him. Am I just blind? Oh shoot, yeah, you're right. Oh, bottom 6 forward. That means he's going to be bad next season. He's an 83 overall now. Still kind of like killing it, but he's probably going to be down to like an 80, and I don't really want to use up my money on that. Plus, I already have an NHL team. Like a good one. I think I'm okay with letting Gunler and McCallum develop. The team doesn't get worse. They get a little better by getting Honka as opposed to Hamonic. And he is a way better fit for a lot of things in my coach's scheme. I think I'm okay. Advanced day. We'll see what happens with coaching staff. My NHL assistant coach has accepted, as has my goalie coach. AHL assistant coach has rejected. He's a bitch. AHL goalie coach has accepted though, so I just need a coach. AHL assistant coach. Jani Lahunen. Welcome to the team. He's 61, which means he's retiring this year, but whatever. Hopefully that's a good fit for the AHL. And the scout has accepted. Advanced day. I have my assistant coach for the AHL. I have Julius Honka, and I believe that is it. So there we go. Tony DeAngelo heading to New Jersey. Trade in the Metro Division. You don't really see that a lot. Ooh. Hello. Oh, he doesn't fit in our scheme, so that doesn't help. If he was a fit, I would have taken that trade. Gunler accepted, so that's really the last big RFA. Pulak's contract is too big, and he's not good enough. Ryan Dzingel heading to Buffalo, along with Noah Juleson. 2 first-round picks heading Montreal's way. Elias McCauley accepted. Hampus Lindholm? No. I'm going to edit my trade block. I'm going to take Binnington off. And that should be good. Camilleri. Get a 3rd round pick in next year's draft. Is this the Trevor? It is Trevor. 63 overall, low top 6 forward. He's a right winger, and I took better right wingers in last year's draft. I'd give up a 5th round pick in the following year's draft and get a 3rd round pick instead, and I'd get an extra 3rd this year. I'm going to say yes to this. I have a lot of right wingers now after this draft, and I drafted a couple better ones. Brendan Perlini heading to Arizona. Vince Dunn heading from St. Louis to Arizona. It looks like Arizona's kind of trying to load up for this season. And we'll get one more season in here, I think, and then call it a night. Just waiting for the edit lines. Edit lines. Should be the same, pretty much. Holmquist, Big Sam, Svechnikov. I don't like that. We're going to move things around a little bit. How good has Bach been? Pretty okay. About on the level of Holmquist. That's a good 3rd line. Oh, it isn't. I gotta trade Teravainen, man. McCallum's up to a 78 or 79, up from a 78. Gunler has stayed the same, which is a little frustrating. Both players have 4th line roles, which means they should grow a decent amount. Out of curiosity. Doesn't do anything. Alright. Let's see if that works. Klingberg is starting to decline. Solani's up to an 82. And I think goaltending should be the same. Binnington's down a little bit, which is annoying, but Miracle is still at the same spot. Honka and LaPierre are my scratches. Special teams. That's perfect. Penalty kill. Okay. Whatever. That's not a fit. Okay. Let's try Slavin. Oh, he's already on the penalty kill. I don't want to double shift him. Fine, we'll put Klingberg there. Okay. I think we're good. Oh, I didn't check the AHL team just to see what's going on in the AHL. Kidney stayed the same. Lebda's up there though. Where's the other Hämäläinen? Oh, here he is. So I have two Hämäläinens on this team. Didn't realize that when I traded for them. Okay. Defense, Macaulay, Yakubatuko, Villeneuve, Bobkov, Watson, and Cuff. Goaltending, Teuton, and Vickers. Okay. Let's start. Who's my captain? Aho's an assistant. Bach and Slavin's the captain. Okay. And we will go. It's kind of late. We'll sim to February 1st. We'll skip the December 1st stoppage that we usually have. Ryan Pulock finally traded, this time to Ottawa. The Islanders have been trying to trade him now for quite a while. Finally got to doing it. Kyle Turris to Dallas. Bet Chicago is glad to be done with him. Some preseason trades here. Canes are having a great season in the preseason, but none of that matters if you don't get regular season wins. Pretty sure it's impossible to win every game in the preseason. I don't know, but we did it. Most of the time, like, you always get like an overtime loss or something. I'm good. And first game of the season against Arizona. The Canes lose that game, unfortunately. That's tough. Don't play for another 4 nights. 5 days, technically, against Philly. Canes win 5-4 against Philadelphia. Game 3 against Vegas. 4-3 overtime win, so good stuff. We do lose, so I guess we're just playing 500 hockey so far. We beat Chicago, and Central Scouting rankings are out. We're going to go ahead and view the draft class. Tucker Gertson is available, and his brother, I'm assuming brother, we'll call him a brother, is eligible for the draft this year and is projected to go first overall. Good for him. One bust already, and it's Antti Kiiskinen, a defenseman. In the last season of Canes Twitter franchise mode, we had a goalie, our franchise starter, pretty much, like the goalie of the future for the team, and ended up winning a couple cups with him. His name was Kiiskinen. Man, what is it with the Rangers giving Shea long deals? I don't like that. Canes with a big win against Minnesota, and Minnesota has been terrible. this franchise mode. Big Sam, that's a tough injury. Out until November 19th, we have an overtime loss against the Sabres. So he's going to miss over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks. Yeah, over 3 weeks, actually. So hopefully the Canes can stay on the right path. Looks like we got some big wins here against Montreal and Boston. Can we beat Columbus? We can. 5-2. 5-2. My TV's got a little small. And we got the Rangers. So we beat the Rangers, but we lose to the Panthers. I'd rather beat the Rangers anyways because of the Metro. 9-3-1 first week of December. Tough loss there against the Senators. And hopefully we'll be able to get it going again. Back in the win column against St. Louis, so that's a big win. I can't remember if we played against the defending champs yet. Losing against the Rangers is tough. Got to beat the Islanders here. Elmer Soderblom is out for Charlotte, so that gives somebody else a chance to stick it in the lineup. And we beat the Islanders, and it's a bit of a weaker draft. Big Sam's back. We've kind of been playing like up and down hockey with him out of the lineup, so hopefully he helps. Chris Miracle's out with an MCL sprain until February 12th. So that's unfortunate. Luckily, we have a starting goalie in Jordan Binnington, but that's a big loss to the team nonetheless because our other goalie's in the mid-70s. But 3 big wins in a row, including 2 shutout wins in a row. We do lose in the shootout to Detroit, but we have a game against Columbus coming up, a home game, and it's a 2-0 win. So 3 shutouts in our last 4 games. The Canes are showing that they can do well when faced with adversity. 5-2 loss is tough. And a 3-1 win against the Buffalo Sabres. And so, looks like Trevor's having a bit of some struggles here, man. Got 6-3 loss to the Flyers. Yeah, Trevor's team's struggling a little bit. Gus Nyquist is a bottom 6 forward, so that's a no from me. Shootout loss to the Blues. That's tough. A 3-2 win against Montreal, though. That's good enough to put a smile on my face. And let's see. Of course, it's the Sabres. Yeah, I mean, they've been a really good regular season team, and then I think they've been a first round exit in the playoffs both times that I've made the playoffs, so tough. I've had one player win 2 Stanley Cups, including a Conn Smythe already. Luke Cunnin heading to Colorado. Columbus trading him. Not sure when they picked him up, but that's a big deal. Charlotte gets a player back. I'm hoping that Charlotte is doing okay. They haven't made the playoffs in a little while. Big wins on this little road trip here. Went 2-1 on the road trip. No. Playing up against Calgary now. So we beat the Flames, which is big. Gotta beat the Wild. They're struggling this year. Another player for Charlotte, man. And Evan Stansel's out until December 25th. So that's a little bit of a tough loss for the Canes. He was having a good season, I'd imagine. But a big 4-game win streak here. Can't continue against the Senators. It does not. Actually, the Senators beat us. Playing against the Caps, we win. All right. Hornqvist is back for the Checkers, so luckily it was just a short injury. So we beat the Caps, and Evan is back in time for the next game against the Caps. We beat the Panthers as well, and we win against the Capitals again. So nice 3-game win streak. And make it 4 with that big win against the defending Cup champs. Getting that revenge game for the Eastern Conference Finals. Playing against Pittsburgh, one of the worst teams in the division. There we go. We're going to make it 5 straight games with a win. Final game before the new year is a win, 6-2 against LA, and the Canes are on a 6-game win streak heading into the new year. New Year, same Canes though. 7-game win streak. There we go. We do lose, get shut out by Vancouver actually, which is it's a little tough, but I'm happy with the results so far this season. Another big win against Calgary, so the series is done. Big 7-3 win against the was that the Maple Leafs? Yeah. Sorry, my TV is like really small, so sometimes it's hard to see the logos. Uh, Win against the Sens. 4 straight wins, man. The team's kind of showing that they're the team to beat in the league this year, which is good to see. Big win against Winnipeg. We do lose to the Caps. We actually get shut out for the second time this month. Both of our losses in 2026 have been shutouts. But big win against the Blue Jackets and another win against the Sharks. So heading into the All-Star break, the Carolina Hurricanes are 34-11-3, comfortably in first place in the division. Still have not scouted Gertson yet. Andrew Anthony, get on it, bud. We'll scout him now, just for fun. I always like scouting the first overall pick, just to see who he is. But yeah, that's a solid record heading into the All-Star break. I'm pretty happy with it. We're 15 points ahead of the Capitals for first in the division. Shootout loss to the Rangers after the All-Star break. We'll blame it on the rust. The Devils have actually downgraded a little bit this year. They were a playoff team last year. I guess say no to that. As much as I'd love to have Adam Fox back on the team, just to kind of screw you to Fox. Colton Sissons heading to Vancouver. Nashville selling a little bit. I don't know why I would need to sim. Let's just go to the end of the season. Play the last game of the season is against Buffalo. So there we go. Julian Gauthier, who's an 87 overall, LOL. Heading to Toronto. New York selling. We play New York one more time. Chris Miracle's back. Heck yeah, that's way too early. He was supposed to be back like what, February 25th? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was supposed to be back early February, but still, yikes. Fetch is out with a strained hamstring for 2 weeks. That's a big loss. And yeah, the Canes struggling a little bit in February. Yeah, 3 straight losses. Got to turn it around against Pittsburgh, one of the worst teams in the league this year. And they do. We win that game. Still comfortably in first in the division, but I'd like to win more games. Landon McCallum, they're offering to trade him. I want nothing to do with a trade involving Landon McCallum. I think he's a very good prospect and could be a very good center. Ryan Lindgren heading to New Jersey, which is an interesting trade. New Jersey is having a rough year, but they're making a trade to buy at the deadline. Might mean that the East is not as competitive this year. Patrick Kane heading from Chicago to Winnipeg, along with Jordan Greenway. Wow, that's a big deal. Had 3 straight wins. Can we make it 4 with that win against Dallas? We cannot. No win against Dallas this time, unfortunately. Svetch is back, which will be huge for the Hurricanes. Frederick Anderson heading from Arizona to Edmonton. So Edmonton gets their goalie. Seems like they needed it too. They're at least just judging from that one game, a 6-5 loss for the Canes. Giving up 5 goals in a game isn't a big issue, but wow, look at this. Ottawa gets Travis Konechny. Philadelphia gets a good prospect, a first-round pick, and a third-round pick. That's a huge deal. Crazy stuff. Ryan Ellis heading from Nashville to Anaheim. So, man, Nashville's just trading everybody. If I remember correctly, Nashville was pretty consistently bad from this point on. Adrian Kempe heading to Montreal, Los Angeles, selling as well. Playing against New Jersey? Yeah, they're 27-30-4. I don't understand why they're buying. David Riddick heading to Boston. And Calgary gets Jake DeBrusk. So that's an odd trade. Very odd. Trade deadline's almost upon us. I don't care, man. We're so good right now. Big win against the Red Wings and against the Ducks. I couldn't see what that other game is. We have 45 wins, though. This will easily be like one of our best seasons. Could be actually our best season yet. 47, 18, and 4. I'm 95% sure this is our best season yet in the franchise mode. We've clinched the division already. My God. Wow. So in March, this pick does not matter in the first round for us. I mean, it does, but we will at least be picking late first round, and there's almost never a good player in the late first round. So I may, if I don't trade back, I may end up like drafting a player that's projected to go in the second round, because typically there's some like top 6 players in there, like top 4D. Riley Kidney's out with a fractured collarbone for Charlotte. His season might be done because I don't know how good Charlotte is. Dougie Hamilton's out with a strained hamstring. He'll be out for the rest of the season. He may come back in the last game against Buffalo. Back-to-back shootout losses. The Canes can't quite clinch the conference title. Hamilton's actually back for this game against Pittsburgh. 2-1 loss. And we're going to sim against Buffalo, see what happens. These Sabres. Canes score. Landon McCallum scoring a goal. John Klingberg scoring as well. Nothing in the second. Third period. That's a shutout victory for the Carolina Hurricanes, man. Looks like Buffalo might be a playoff team. Landon McCallum had a hell of a game with 2 points, though. And that clinches the conference for the Canes. So the Canes are your Eastern Conference champs, regular season champs, and will be the President's Trophy winners, actually, with that win against Buffalo. As you can see, Aho leading the team with 80 points, and it's going to be the Canes versus Red Wings in the first round. We'll check out the players here. Optimistic Caniac, 72 points. Big Sam, 68 points. Evan with a career high, I believe, in 66 points. Oh, yeah, for sure, that's a career high. Hell of a season. Svetch with 62. Teravainen, 59. Bach, 46. Suzuki with 42. Good to see him producing. Julius Honka with 20 points. Tuomas Solani with 21. McCallum with 19, that's not great. He didn't actually grow, which is a little disappointing. Neither did Gunler. LaPierre actually played in a few games. And Teuton kind of was on a roll. Marcus Teuton, the 75 overall goalie, went 6-1 with a no decision. Had a .931 save percentage, man. Not too bad. And since you're watching, here's another 80-point season for you, Trevor. 80 points. Not quite a career high, but it's a career high in goals with 41. Second only to Jack Eichel on the team, who had an even 82 over 82 games. And then there's just a 14-point drop-off from Yuta Skinner, and then there's a 16-point drop-off there. But still not bad. Natchez actually went to the Sabres, so the Sabres signed Natchez, and he only had 30 points. I believe they made the playoffs, but let's check. They did. You guys are facing Toronto. You're the away team, though. Alright. Game 1 of the playoffs. First period. Canes are losing. It's me. Scores a goal. Joel Armia scores as well. And then Sebastian Aho getting a goal for the Canes. Second period, Optimistic Caniac scoring a big goal there, tying the game. And then the third period, Detroit wins. Justin Sordiff with 2 goals. Yeah, it's not bad. You know, it's just a matter of if, you know, the Sabres can advance. Here's what I don't want, though. I don't want the Canes to win the President's Trophy and then lose in the regular season, or and then lose in the first round of the playoffs. I would hate for that to happen. So, let's not make it happen. First period, game 2 in Carolina. Sebastian Aho scoring a goal. Big goal for Sebastian Aho there, his first of the playoffs. Second period, this is what I like. Patrick Puistola scoring, John Klingberg also scoring, and the Exorcist Evan Stansel with a goal as well. Third period, Canes get another goal, the Exorcist Evan Stansel with another goal. Playing against the Red Wings though, so he can't live up to his nickname because Detroit didn't make the playoffs. Or Detroit, New Jersey didn't make the playoffs. Ooh, I don't know what happened there. I want to see. Charlotte missed the playoffs by a decent margin, actually. They kind of suck. I'm probably going to fire my AHL coach. Okay. Here we go. Game 3. Series is tied. We're heading into Detroit. First period. Canes get big goals. Optimistic Kaniak, Svechnikov, and Evan Stansel score goals. Lepisto gets a goal for Detroit. Canes get a goal from Ryan Suzuki. That's his first of the playoffs. And then the third period, It's Me scores again. But the Canes take game 3, and they're up in the series 2-1. AHL regular season is done. Charlotte doesn't make the playoffs. I really don't know what to do with Charlotte, to be honest. First period, Aho and Suzuki score goals. Larkin and Mayer score for Detroit, so it's tied. Second period now, Canes take the lead. Evgeny Svechnikov scores. Big Sam ties it. Landon McCallum getting his first goal of the playoffs. Shane Wright ties it, and Julius Honka gets his first goal of the playoffs to take the lead for the Canes. It's kind of a barn burner here. Yeah, it is. Optimistic Kaniak scoring the eventual game winner. Evan Stansel and Tuomas Solani getting goals. That's not exactly a great defensive showcase for either team, but either way, Canes win game 4. They take a 3-1 lead in the series. They can eliminate the Detroit Red Wings in Raleigh. Game 5. First period, Optimistic Kaniak with another goal. He's having himself a series. Second period, nothing. No score for either team. Canes are doubling up on Detroit shots. Canes win and are going on to the second round. Evan Stansel with 2 goals, one including the eventual game winner, and Big Sam with a big insurance goal. So the Canes are going to advance to the second round. I was a little worried at first, losing the first game. Buffalo and Toronto are tied in their series. We'll take a look now. It's 3-2 Leafs. It might be Canes versus Devils again. It is. It's going to be Canes versus Devils. Buffalo tied the series, so they're forcing a game 7. Playoff round is over. Our matchups, we have St. Louis and Chicago, Anaheim and Winnipeg, Ottawa and Buffalo, and then Carolina and New Jersey. The Exorcist Evan Stansel has another chance to shine. First period, the Exorcist Evan Stansel scoring another goal against New Jersey. I'm telling you, he always does well against New Jersey. I don't know what it is. Big Sam with a big goal as well. Second period now, Noel Gunler scoring his first goal of the playoffs, and Jesper Bachfist getting New Jersey on the board. Ooh, that was almost close. Aho and Svechnikov score. Svech's goal ends up being the game winner. Ovi with 2 goals, though. 5-4 is your final. Canes win, but it was ugly. It was ugly. Buffalo also won game 1 of their series. Trevor. And Canes versus Devils, game 2, first period. Christian Fischer scores. Slavin gets his first of the playoffs, and I believe Teravainen gets his as well. Second period, Devils come back. Christian Fischer and Jesper Bachfist scoring again. Third period, Canes tie it. Teuvo Teravainen with a big goal. We're going through overtime now. Boom. Here we go. Second round, this is game 2. Canes and Devils. It is 3-3. Just scrolling through Twitter, seeing if I've missed anything kind of crazy. It doesn't appear so. Yeah, he and Chris were both 85 overall, so it's possible that Chris just overtook him thanks to development. Provorov with the puck. Fisher's got it to Provorov. Nice block by Klingberg in front. Klingberg's got it up to Svechnikov. And Svech is going to make a move. Nice move to gain some space. He's going to pass and they're going to miss the net. Blackwood's going to cover up. Yeah, it's possible that Chris is just slightly better than Binnington. It's also possible that Binnington just got hurt or something. I don't know. I hope he didn't get hurt, though. First line for the Canes out now against the Devils' first line as well. Optimistic Kaniak with the face-off win. Dougie Hamilton with the puck. Dishing it to Klingberg. Klingberg to Svechnikov. Svech is going to get hooked, and a penalty is coming up. Man, a key penalty for the Hurricanes as Ivan Provorov, the first pairing defenseman for the New Jersey Devils, is going to take a seat. So this is a huge opportunity early in overtime for the Hurricanes. First unit of Teuvo Teravainen, Sebastian Aho, and Big Sam is out on the ice now. Looking for a big goal here. Klingberg, score! That is Big Sam, Big Sam. Here we go, we can take a look at this right here. Look at this. Right at the face off. I'm also going to turn on my phone. It's kind of hot in here. Look at this. Aho wins the face off. Klingberg is just going to dish it right to Big Sam, and man, he just puts it right over the glove of Mackenzie Blackwood. Boom. What a shot. Blackwood actually seemed to be there for most of it, but the Canes are going to win. And we're surging. I forgot that this was in the game. Oh, the Kyle into the goal. So kind of combining two surges there. Interesting. But here, let's just take a look at it. We're going to go this angle. Aho, Klingberg, and look at Big Sam over here. He's just going to get some separation. And the defender's going to, he's going to defend it well, but he may have actually screened Blackwood here. Blackwood may not have seen this shot. That's going to go in. What a goal. I like it. It was a quick overtime. I don't love when it's not a quick overtime. Yeah, I don't love when overtime isn't quick. So, game 3 now. We're heading to New Jersey. Sebastian Aho is now leading the team in points. First period, Ponomarev and Provorov scoring a goal in the first period. Second period, Canes are clawing their way back. Palmieri and D'Angelo score, makes it 4-0, but Aho, Holmqvist, and Svechnikov score to make it 4-3. Interesting. Third period, Canes lose. Suzuki ties it, but Provorov wins it with 11 seconds left. That's tough. And see, Binnington's playing in this game. Evan Stansel out with an injured knee. He might be back in time. He might be back for game 5, but if not game 6, if there is a game 6. Game 4, Canes with a 2-1 lead in their series. First period, Optimistic Kaniak and Big Sam, the two created players with goals. Second period, Devils come back, though. Chris Miracle letting up 3 goals. Palmieri, D'Angelo, and Palmieri. Third period, Canes win. Klingberg ties it. Aho wins it with 36 seconds left. Some late regulation heroics from both teams these past 2 games, but the Canes are 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Final yet again. Evan Stansel's back too, so he just missed 1 game. Not too bad. Check Buffalo's series. They're tied 2-2 with the Sens. Game 5 in Raleigh. Nothing in the first period. Pretty even. 12 shots to 10. Second period, there's a goal from Palmieri, who's been great this series. Third period, Canes tie it late. Severson takes the lead for the Devils, but Holmqvist and Stansel score. We're heading to overtime in Game 5. Here we go, folks. Some big stuff for the Hurricanes here. And overtime, here we come. If the Canes win, they're on their way to the Eastern Conference Final. If not, then we're just heading to Game 6 in New Jersey. It's Aho versus Jack Hughes on the face-off. Looks like Hughes did not play in the last game. I could be wrong, though. So it's possible that the Devils just got some reinforcements in this game. Svetch with the puck to Aho. Good shot. Blackwood with a nice save. And Lafreniere with the puck. Odd move, but he leaves the puck behind him. Klingberg up to Svechnikov. Svetch with the puck's going to get crunched along the boards. Lafreniere turns it over. Aho with the puck now. Aho's got it. Ooh, that's a nice move. Optimistic Kadiak with it. Klingberg shooting. Save. Jack Hughes is going to kick the puck up to Christian Fischer. Fischer to Provorov. Provorov's going to enter the zone and get hit off the puck. Hamilton carrying it into the zone. Big Sam shooting. Oh, he missed just wide. There was some space on the glove side low. Kyle Palmieri, the cannon killer. Dougie Hamilton needs that pass. What an elite play by Dougie Hamilton. Big Sam with the puck. The overtime hero of Game 3. Big Sam, nothing doing on that pass. Damon Severson with the puck now. Up to Palmieri. Missed the pass. Jake Bean with it. Josh Bean to Holmqvist. Holmqvist passing it to Bach. Bach is going to get hit off the puck. Great save by Blackwood. Entertaining overtime so far, I would say. If my fan is too loud, I will turn it off. I was just putting it on because it's a little hot in here. I want hockey to be back so bad, man. I miss working. I really do. And we got Jacob Slavin to Jake Bean. Dominic Bach to Bean. Breaks his stick on the play. Dominic Bach, oh, what a chance. My goodness. I hope they show a replay of this. Wow. Yeah, look at this. Bach with a great chance out in front. My goodness. And they're going to keep this line out here. Very interesting that they're keeping this line out here. Big Sam on the face-off. And he's going to lose it on the tie-up. Bachfist with the puck now. It's a 1-on-3. Slavin cleans that up nicely. Back to Big Sam. Delayed penalty on New Jersey. Back to Holmqvist. Shoots. Blackwood makes a save, but the Canes once again are going on the power play as number 90. I think that's Bachfist actually going to the penalty box. Yeah, Bachfist. Yep, he's going to hook Jacob Slavin and the deep. That's an offensive zone penalty. Tough penalty to take, and it's Teravainen, Aho, and Big Sam out on the ice. Can't we have a repeat of Game 3? Aho loses the faceoff. Provorov with the puck, and he's going to clear it out. Bachfist is not a penalty killer, so it's not as big of a loss as Provorov was. Klingberg up to Teravainen. Teravainen to Big Sam. Back to Teravainen. Teravainen's going to dish it to Klingberg. To Teravainen. Klingberg shoots. Ooh, good save. Weird bounce off of Blackwood. And the puck is going to leave the zone. Klingberg's going to come back to get it. Klingberg to Aho. Teravainen with the puck. And dishing it back to Hamilton. Interesting decision. Big Sam with it. Big Sam. He's going to do it all himself. Provorov. Block pass. Big Sam. Ooh. I would have just preferred the shot there, I think. Canes are going to regroup. Klingberg to Teravainen. Just over a minute left on this power play. Back to Hamilton, to Klingberg, shooting. Good save on the blocker side by Blackwood. Big Sam to Aho, to Big Sam. Teravainen to Svechnikov, blocked shot. And that puck's going to leave the zone. Canes are going to get some fresh bodies out there. Svechnikov is already out on the ice. No, they're not actually. Aho is going to stay on the ice. Big Sam and Teravainen. So it looks like they just made one change. Big Sam score! Oh! Moving on. Takes the last shot. What a play! What a goal. Let's go. What a play. Chris Miracle with the win in net. New Jersey season is over. Here's the face-off, or the face-off, the handshake line. There's Teravainen. There's Chris Miracle being all happy. Every creative player looks the same. I didn't go into making all the players' faces look similar because it would have taken too long. Let's hope they show the goal. There's Big Sam with another huge play in overtime, and there's the goal from Sebastian Aho to win it. The Canes moving on to the Eastern Conference Final. Big Sam with 2 assists in that game. Chris Miracle with a heck of a performance. But again, New Jersey lost both games in overtime that series on a penalty. Canes were on a power play both times. Just goes to show how good having a power play can be. Riley Kidney's back for Charlotte. That doesn't matter. It's going to be Canes versus Sabres. So, Trevor, you and I are mortal enemies for this series. First period, Canes with 3 goals, Jack Eichel with 1, Noel Gunler, Sebastian Aho, and Optimistic Kaniak with goals. Spreading it throughout the lineup, actually. Second period, Teuvo Teravainen says, let's add another one. Third period, Buffalo gets another one for Jack Eichel. You root for the Canes unless you want your creative player to win a Stanley Cup with Buffalo. That's kind of the thing. It's like, you want your creative player to do well, but you also don't want Buffalo to win a Stanley Cup. So, like, yeah. We got a goal in the first period. We do have a goal. Jacob Slavin. Whoops. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. Martin Necas with the goal, getting that revenge goal against the Canes. Teuvo Teravainen scoring, and then Evan Stancil, the Exorcist, scoring against Buffalo. Third period, Canes just wiped the floor with the Sabres. Riley Smith with the goal, but Holmqvist, Big Sam, has 2 goals, and Klingberg also gets a goal. 3 stars of this game, Big Sam with 4 points, Aho with 4 points, and Teravainen with 3. My goodness. This is game 3. It's the Canes up to a 2-0 lead in the series. Aho is almost a 2-point per game player these playoffs. Just absolutely killing it. First period, Jake Bean with the goal. I believe that might be his first. Second period, nothing doing. Canes out shooting the Sabres. Third period, Sebastian Aho gets a goal. Canes shut out the Sabres and are on the verge of a sweep, which would be absurd. We'll do the obligatory draft class look. Doesn't look like we are going to need to draft anybody. Like, if we win a Stanley Cup, draft picks are just kind of worthless to me. All I care about is that we won the cup, you know? Game 4 in Buffalo. First period, sorry, I got a call. Dzingel scoring for the Sabres, getting that revenge goal against the Canes. Second period, Holmqvist, Teravainen, and Klingberg score. They're up 3-2. We're going to slow sim the third period. See what happens. Power play for the Canes. Buffalo scores. Travis Hamonic getting that revenge goal against the Canes. Man, they're just filling up with former Canes. Loading up. Are we going to go to overtime? Are we going to have some shenanigans in overtime? We might. And we will. Overtime in Game 4. Canes win. They're on their way to the Stanley Cup Final. Canes lose. It's a 3-1 series heading back to Raleigh. This is it, Trevor. Who are you rooting for in this game? The people must know who you are rooting for in this game. It's going to be Aho on the face-off against Jack Eichel. Aho wins the face-off. Svechnikov with the puck. And Svech is going to take Eichel on a little bit of a ride there. Look at him go. Svech back to Hamilton. Too optimistic. Kaniak shoots. Blocked in front. Aho scores. The Carolina Hurricanes are heading to the Stanley Cup. Screw you, Jeff Skinner. Canes are moving on, folks. Horrible turnover in their own end. Listen to the depressing music in the background. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my goodness. Jacob Slavin is not going to touch the trophy. He's He's just gonna take the photo op. That was quick indeed. Great stick lift by Svechnikov creates that turnover, and the game is over before it even begins almost. Overtime is over. Big Sam with another 2 assists in that game. The Canes moving on. Wow. Who would have thought? Who? And we still have a couple days of rest. It's gonna be Canes versus either the Blues or the Ducks. They forced a game 7. And it's gonna be Anaheim, clawing all the way back from 3-1 down. Wow. So Canes versus Ducks. Anaheim kind of coming out of nowhere. We're gonna go to game 1. Game 1. Canes up 2-0. Big Sam with 2 big goals in the first period. Second period now. Sebastian Aho scoring, Ryan Ellis getting a goal on Chris Miracle. Third period, Julius Honka wins. Canes are up 1-0 in the Stanley Cup final. Here we go. Game 2. Big Sam with another big goal. Gonna call him the Duck Hunter if he keeps this up. I just gotta think of nicknames that involve, like, being, beating the team that you're playing against. Jacob Slavin with a big goal to keep the Canes ahead, though. Vander Kane cuts the lead in half. Canes win. Big Sam with a big goal. Vander Kane with another one, though. But Big Sam with 2 huge goals. He's had 4 goals this series. We've played 2 games. Game 3. This is in Anaheim. Holmquist with a goal. Jamison Reese getting that revenge goal against the Canes. So he is playing for the Anaheim Ducks. Second period, nothing doing for either team. Tie game. Heading to overtime. Raquel scores with 7:29 left. Klingberg scores a power play goal with 3:36 left to send the game to overtime. This is exciting. Overtime, you can't ask for anything better. Overtime, game 3 of the playoff, or of the Stanley Cup final. If the Canes win, they're on the verge of a 3-0 series lead. If they lose, they have a 2-1 lead. Aho versus Steele on the faceoff. Steele's going to win it back to Theodore. Kasha has it now. Kasha's going to dump it in. That's going to be picked up by Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton to Klingberg. Klingberg has it now. That was a bit of a clusterfuck. Kieran Lang with the puck. Chris Miracle's going to hold on. 20 minutes. The top 3 is all Anaheim players. That's good for us, actually. That's better for us. Chris Miracle, 36 saves on 38 shots. Svechnikov with a great intercept. He's going to streak up the ice. Not quite a breakaway. To Optimistic Kaniak. Optimistic Kaniak with the puck. Back to Jacob Slavin. To Bean. Scores! What a deflection in front. I believe that's Sebastian Aho again. The overtime hero. What a redirect. Wow. This goal was absurd. Shot, and you can't see it, but that is Aho with the tip in front. Hopefully they show it here. They're going to show it. It hits Aho's stick and goes up into the net. What a goal. Canes win in overtime. They take a 3-0 series lead. Sebastian Aho with 2 clutch overtime goals. One to send the Canes to the final, and one to win Game 3 of the Stanley Cup final. So clearly he's showing with 29 points in 17 games that he is a clutch performer. Game 4, Canes could win the Stanley Cup tonight. First period, Big Sam, the Duck Hunter, with a big goal. Second period, Big Sam with another big goal. Dominic Bach scoring. We're going to quick sim this. Holmqvist with a goal. Big Sam with the hat trick. Folks, the Carolina Hurricanes are going to win the cup. I improved the difficulty. I made it harder for my team to win. Evan Stancil, the Exorcist, with the goal. He says, I want in on this. We're going to watch the final minute of the game. I'm excited. I'm happy. Like, I made the game harder, you know, I had less to work with. The team was worse this year, like, statistically. Like, overall-wise, we were worse, but I think we just got rid of, like, a few dead-weight players. Right now, it's 6-0. Oh, I'm playing. I got so excited that I forgot to make it a CPU versus CPU game. What do I have to do? It's under settings, I think. Yes. Ellis with the puck. Gives it to Richie. To Raquel. We got 50 seconds left. Block shot blocked by his own man out in front. Richie with the puck. Gets hit along the boards. Raquel to Ellis. To Raquel. Buchnevich with the puck. That's going to come back up to Theodore. To Raquel. Great save. Oh my god, how did that puck not go in? How did this puck not go in? We gotta use the replay. I need to see this. It's a shot. That's a shot. Chris Miracle makes the save. It's right behind him. Obviously, the goal doesn't really matter if it happens. It's just sitting back there. It still had plenty of momentum, and then the game just froze it along the goal line. And Chris is just gonna scoop it up, and he doesn't hit it in. Hamilton doesn't hit it in. The Ducks player doesn't hit it in. I don't know, man. The Stanley Cup, here it comes. Got 32 seconds left in the game. We are so close to victory. Our ultimate goal. Here comes the Stanley Cup. Kasha, Steele, and Kieran Lang against Optimistic Caniac, Sebastian Aho, and Andrei Svechnikov. Kasha gets the face-off. Chris Miracle, stop. Stop covering it up, dude. It doesn't matter. Sebastian Aho, Big Sam, and Evan Stancil leading the playoffs in goals, so Aho will probably win the Conn Smythe. Theodore to Kasha to Steele. Kasha with the puck. Block shot. Chris Miracle makes the save, and they just keep having face-offs. They just want this to keep going and going. 19.3 seconds away from winning the Stanley Cup. Sam Steele leading his team in points with 23. That's hilarious. Aho has probably 30 by now. Aho wins the face-off. Klingberg to Aho. Optimistic Caniac. 14 seconds remaining. Big hit. But Theodore to Kasha. We are less than 10 seconds away. It's not a blocked shot. The Canes are just getting in every lane. The Carolina Hurricanes have won the Stanley Cup. Wow. They are your 2026 Stanley Cup champs. Champs. What a win. So congratulations obviously are in order for our created players. Evan Stancil, Big Sam, Optimistic Caniac and Chris Miracle. Huge Stanley Cup final victory. I want to watch this. I want to see who wins the Conn Smythe. I'm 95% sure it's Aho, but it'll be interesting to see if it's maybe Big Sam. He did have quite a few. He had a great series. Phenomenal series. I think he had 6 goals, maybe 7. Probably an assist or 2 in there. There's Optimistic Caniac. So Sebastian Aho is your Conn Smythe winner. 8 goals, 13 points. Crazy. So he wins the Conn Smythe. Here's the Stanley Cup. Aho will not be holding it. It will be Jacob Slavin, the captain of your Carolina Hurricanes, hoisting the Stanley Cup for the very first time. Noel Gunler, Linda McCallum winning Stanley Cups in their first season ever in the NHL. Jacob Slavin hoisting the Stanley Cup for the Hurricanes. Here we go. Yay! Here it is! Woo! So Slavin's got it. He's going to give it to Dougie Hamilton. This is Hamilton's first Stanley Cup. Oh no, he doesn't. Landon McCallum, the rookie, gets it. That's interesting. So Slavin passes it off to the rookie, Landon McCallum. And he's going to give it to Big Sam, who had one heck of a series. He's probably dropping a few F-bombs. There we go. And Big Sam is going to selfishly take another lap with it. What a selfish player. My goodness. And that is it. The Carolina Hurricanes sweep the final 2 rounds of the playoffs and win the Stanley Cup. And that's going to do it for this franchise mode. I have enjoyed my time, but it's late. I have a very busy day tomorrow, but I thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time, maybe tomorrow night.